Taehyung parked his car in the parking lot and headed toward Jungkook's apartment. Everyone's eyes were on him. After all, he was a famous business tycoon in Korea and a mafia king of the underworld. But the man ignored everyone and entered the lift. The mafia stopped his feet once he was standing in front of black metallic door. He waited for a few seconds before ringing the bell. It took 5 minutes for the person behind to open the door. When the door opened, no sound came out from Taehyung's mouth. He was awestruck seeing the petite male in red dress standing in front of him. Taehyung's legs started moving on their own, while Jungkook gulped, not able to handle the heavy stare of the man in front of him. He looked so dominant that the small male felt like submitting himself. Taehyung's hand circled around Jungkook's waist, while slowly leaning down to Jungkook's ear, his hot breath fanning over the latter's neck. "Gosh, you look so beautiful that I want to eat you right now," Taehyung whispered, making Jungkook's legs jelly, whose chest slowly heaved up and down as he was feeling so hot with just that sultry voice of the mafia. Taehyung kissed Jungkook's exposed neck and retreated himself. Jungkook, who had his eyes closed, now opened them and stared into those chocolatey orbs which always held him captivative. "Shall we?" Taehyung forwarded his hand for Jungkook to take, while a smirk lingered on his face. Jungkook placed his hand in Taehyung's, which fitted perfectly, and they both walked towards the parking lot. A long night ahead. Taehyung's black expensive car stopped in front of the venue. The cameras started flashing, taking pictures of him and Jungkook. There were always rumors about the two of them dating, but Taehyung could care less. Both the male exited the car. Taehyung placed his hand on Jungkook's back, guiding him, and they both entered the party. It was the same as those business parties, but no one could tell that there were mafias present too. On his way, Taehyung met the host of the party, a 43-year-old man. Noticing the dirty gaze of the old man on Jungkook, the mafia king instinctively wrapped his hand around the waist of the beautiful male beside him. They talked for a bit in which Taehyung wasn't even interested a bit. Fortunately, after a few minutes, the old man left them to attend some other guests, and Taehyung heard Jungkook sighing in relief. He was feeling uncomfortable under that old man's gaze. The mafia poked his cheeks. "Guess he's busy tomorrow clearing trash from the earth." "Hey, Taehyung!" Taehyung turned around and was met with two men, one with wide shoulders and the other had dimples on his cheeks. "Oh, hello Jin and Namjoon Hyung," Taehyung greeted. "It's Hyung for you, you bitch," Jin snarled and Taehyung just smirked. "Mind your language, Hyung. There are still kids around us," Taehyung said, smirking at Jungkook. "This kid can give you kids too." Jungkook rolled his eyes internally, not knowing how to react, and since when his boss started behaving frankly with him. I see. Jin smirked, glancing at Jungkook. "It's good to see you two getting along well. Now I finally got someone with whom I can take my revenge from this polar bear." Jin smirked playfully at his thought. "By the way, it's been long since you threw any party. Are you going bankrupt, Mr. Kim?" Jin asked, chuckling. "Well, I'm thinking about throwing one soon. Just hoping things go well," Taehyung replied, secretly glancing at Jungkook, who was oblivious but the Kim couple weren't. The four of them then engaged in talking, Taehyung and Namjoon about work, meanwhile Jin and Jungkook about food. Suddenly, soft music started playing and Namjoon couldn't help but ask his husband for a dance. "I swear, Junie, if you tripped on my foot today too, you're not visiting museums for the next 1 month. 'Cause why making himself suffer from no kisses for 1 week punishment?" Jungkook giggled at the chaotic couple, not knowing someone was looking at him fondly. "Wanna dance?" Jungkook's smile faded as he looked at the man standing in front of him, like a gentleman. Taehyung had one hand behind his back, while the other one offering for Jungkook to take. Jungkook was surprised but couldn't hold himself from blushing. It's not like every day when you get asked for a dance by your boss. For God's sake, Taehyung, you got banged by your boss too. Jungkook placed his hand on Taehyung's as the mafia guided him across the dance floor. He kept his eyes on the beautiful male, yet still, he knew exactly where to take him. Jungkook once again glanced at their hands, fitting so well, like made for each other. Both of them were standing in front of each other, their gazes locked. Taehyung placed his hand on Jungkook's waist while the latter on the Mafia's shoulder, and their free hand finally met. Together they started dancing to the music, their feet in perfect sync with the beating of their heart. As the song progressed, Jungkook felt relaxed. Jungkook's full focus was on Taehyung, who was wearing a red suit with a white shirt inside. Jungkook smiled at the thought that they were unintentionally matching. No doubt, his love was effortlessly looking handsome. He always does, causing him to fall harder. Whereas, Taehyung's eyes didn't wander off even for a second. They were just locked with those brown orbs. Both of them were too close by now that they could feel each other's breath. The warmth between them grew more powerful by the second, and Taehyung's gaze wasn't helping too. They swayed their hips according to the dance. The Mafia King gently pulled Jungkook flush to himself. He slowly let go of Jungkook's hand and held his waist from both the sides. Jungkook rested his hands on Taehyung's shoulder, eyes never leaving each other. Taehyung's eyes lingered on Jungkook's lips a little longer. Jungkook felt chills with just the gaze. His own eyes fell on Mafia King's lips. Taehyung leaned painfully slow. He stopped just near Jungkook's lips, almost brushing. They could feel each other's breath. When Taehyung didn't move, Jungkook did. He placed his lips on Taehyung's. It was a mere press, lips barely moving. Taehyung completely snaked his arms around Jungkook and tilted his face, finally moving his lips and deepening the kiss. Jungkook sighed contented and kissed back. His one hand was caressing Taehyung's nape, while other one was in his hair, pulling him closer. Taehyung kissed him softly. No rush included. He sucked Jungkook's lower lip, and a moan nearly slipped from those cherry-like lips. The Mafia broke the kiss and nuzzled his face in Jungkook's neck. He starts leaving kisses on the exposed skin. Jungkook put his head on Taehyung's shoulder and let him do whatever he was doing, as he was himself enjoying too. Jungkook was thankful that the lights were dim, so no one could make out what they were actually doing. Taehyung licked a strip on Jungkook's neck, causing Jungkook to breathe shakily. The Mafia started biting the soft skin, leaving hickeys while the other tried not to moan. Taehyung retreated himself. Both looked at each other knowing what exactly they wanted right now. So, Taehyung grabbed Jungkook's hand and heads to the exit. "Hey, Taehyung, are you leaving?" It was Jin who asked. They both turned back, and the raven head answered the elder before clearing his throat. Yeah, got some business to finish." And with that, both of them left, while Jin gave an awkward smile, exactly knowing what was the business about.